Hi guys, welcome back to UKFlyFisher. Today I'm back at the stunning Woolaston Trout Fishery. We've been invited down by the owner Duane to give you some tips and tricks about winter fishing. Now a lot of people overcomplicate it. We're going to keep it really simple in this video, show you the retrieves, the flies and the methods we'll use for catching fish in the winter. Now the top tip I always give you is get down early, so let's get down there and catch that first fish. Well guys, here we go. First cast of the day at Woolaston Trout Fishery. Now like I say, it's always good to get down early and be the first flight at the fish see. So hopefully we can find a couple hanging around by this aerator. Aerators are always good points to head for. They always hold fish, loads of oxygen, happy fish, feeding fish as well. So all we got is the black mamba on single fly. You don't need to complicate things in the winter. 12-foot leader, and I don't think it'll be long before we hook into a fish. I'll have to watch the other camera, which today is my phone, and try and get a cast right under some bushes. They look like fish that are going to be willing to have a go, to be honest. They're feeding happily on something small and natural, so we're going to match the hatch with a black zonker, put it right in their face and see if they're willing to have a go. Right, that couldn't get any closer to where they are, and it stirred them up straight away. One's gone for it. Look at that bow wave. Oh my god, he's still coming. Had a pull. Pull, yes, he's on. Look at that, guys. That's a great start to the day. And that was third cast. Like I said, it's important to get down early, be the first flight up these fish see. What a cracking fight he's putting up already. Stunning rainbow, absolutely beautiful trout, and he is not giving up. He wanted this. Let's get him in the net. Cracking fish. Look at that black mamba in the scissors. Look at the paddle on that fish. No wonder he was fighting so hard. And off he goes. I think it's important to have a little look at what sort of flies we're going to be using. Now it's wonderful and clear, it's a cold October day, and the fish are going to be up for chasing something a bit bigger. Now I've got a fly box here, and usually when I go to a venue I take one fly box with me, a rod, a reel and a line. I like travelling light, I like to be able to move from peg to peg and pick up fish. So in my box for winter fishing, it's pretty simple. I have some lures. When it's clear water I'm going for whites, olives, blacks, you know, natural things that they can chase. A lot of people use colour, and that's great. That will work really well on stockfish, but you don't always want to be just catching a freshly stocked. You want to find some of those special fish in there, and I often find that using whites, blacks and olives will produce more consistently and often bring you the better fish. For our olive fly we've got the rainbow flash damsel. For the white fly we've got the incredible cat, and then for the blacks we use things like the black cat, snakes and the black mamba. Black mamba is deadly this time of year. We're going to be starting with that fly today. Now at the top I've got things for when it gets a bit harder, maybe they've gone off the feed a little bit, and these are eggs. Now I'll either stalk with these, or if it's really hard and I'm really struggling, I'm going to put them under a bung. These are great flies to start off with in the winter, and you don't really need to complicate it any more than that. Here's a fly box with sort of 8 patterns in, and that's all I'm going to need today, and we're going to hit fish. Now it is going to be quite hard. We've got an easterly wind, it's a bright day, and because of local lockdowns and the lockdowns that are coming into place, nowhere's really stocking, so we're going to be going after fish that are probably a little bit wiser than normal, and again the dull colours are going to really help us catch those fish. So for setups, what are we going to use? Well, today I'm mainly going to be using a sink tip. Woolaston's not too deep, so a floating line or a sink tip will be perfect here. I'm going to be using 10 to 12 foot leader and a single fly. Now I'm going to be starting with the black mamba. The retrieves we're going to be using I'll show you throughout the video, and then we're going to just change the fly throughout the day depending on when they go off the feed. So guys, we've had that first fish. We're just going to get back out here now. Like I said, the aerator is a great spot for producing fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get out as far as we can. I'm going for the edge of the island, which is where all the food's been blown to, but they've also then got food coming off the trees. So usually in these areas you'll find very happy fish that are keen to feed. So with the black mamba, guys, I almost find that you will just want to mix up the retrieve. So we sort of got a medium figure 8 here, and then into a few strips, pause, a few strips, back to the medium figure 8. I find that when you mess them around with that black mamba, you'll often get takes. It's usually after the medium and you start stripping, or after the pause and you pick up with a medium, you'll get a take, and it's called the induced take. And what you're doing is you're letting that fly sink. The fish is thinking about it. As soon as it starts moving, they'll take the fly. So we'll cast that back up there now. And again, we'll just strip, 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 medium figure 8. Now, medium figure 8 for our lures is our go-to retrieve. We'll use it to sort of link up all the other retrieves that we'll be doing. Back to strip. We always pause. The pause lets it sink, and then when you carry on, it rises back up through the surface, and that's when you're going to get a lot of takes. Cast over to them. This wind's making it near enough. Ah! I was going to say this wind's making it near enough impossible to cast, and then I messed it up anyway. There we go. Now that's got fish written all over it, hasn't it? Yeah. Oh, missed him again. No. Yeah, that time he's on. And that, guys, is fish number 2. You can see the black mamba there in the scissors. Just pops out like so. And all I'm going to do with this run, release him. Off he goes to fight another day. So there's still plenty of fish over here, and it's the black mamba they want at the moment. Problem is they want it fast, but they want it against that bank and for as little time as possible. So what I might need to do, change the angle and cast straight along that bank. So right, let's get out here then, change the angle. These are the same fish. This is the island I was just casting at, but I'm going to change the angle. You'll often find this will get you a fish. Exactly the same fish. Flies coming from a different angle, and now they're willing to take. Oh, I lost him. I actually lost him, guys. That's exactly what I was talking about. Different angle, attacking the same fish. And it's just crazy because it's just something so simple, but you don't get programmed it, you don't get taught it. Yeah, a quick fly change, guys. Another top tip. If you're getting takes and bumps and that, it might be that they want to fly, but they're just not quite happy with the one you got on. So guys, I'm putting on a snake. Now, some fisheries won't let you fish them, but any fishery that will, it's worth giving them a shot because they are deadly. Yes, finally. Feels like a much nicer fish. Changing that angle, changing that fly until we found something that worked. Oh my goodness me, it's only a small fish. Look at him go. And off he goes. For the snakes, we're going to do it a bit faster. So we want short, sharp pulls. And then if we want to slow down a bit, we carry on figure 8 in because we're waiting for that take. And then we go straight back to the short, sharp pulls. Often snakes, you're going to get tired fishing snakes, but this is one of the best ways to fish them. And you're going to pull out any fish in the area that are wanting to chase. And with snakes, there's a lot of fish that you'll find are wanting to chase something big. So people associate snakes with catching stockfish. You'll catch some really nice overwintered fish with this method, especially territorial browns. They hate this kind of stuff. Tigers, spartics, you know, your really exotic fish, full tail kind of things. Just getting the aggressive takes. So that's how we're going to be fishing our snakes. Straight away again, interest on the snake. Yeah, there we go. Oh, cracking little rainbow, guys. Let's just lower the net. And off he swims. Well, after a great morning on the black mamba for me and Ryan, it was time to switch up tactics as the fish slowly went off the feed. I went to my stalking rod with that black mamba stalker, and Ryan decided to put on a small size 18 Mohican fly from Filling Mill, and it didn't take him long to hook into a stunning Woolaston brown trout.
Another absolutely stunning brown.
After seeing Ryan land that lovely brown, I was certainly in the mood to get back out fishing, and it didn't take me long before I found some nice cruising fish. My setup was a black mamba stalker on my 8-foot 4-weight rod, and I was just flicking the fly in front of these fish and seeing their reaction to the fly. Oh, he nailed it, guys. He is on. He is on. It's only on a 4-weight. Black mamba stalker. And he is going. He just wants to dig down and swim away from us. And who'd blame him? Into the net. Black mamba stalker in its mouth. Just going to unhook him in the net. Barbless. So it comes off nice and easy. And then I'm just going to lower the net again and watch him swim away. Oh, swam back into the net, but off he goes. Great fight. After catching plenty on that middle lake, I decided it was time to take a little walk down to the bottom lake for you. Now this is the catch and kill pond, and I really wanted to show you the kind of quality you can expect to catch if coming to Woolaston on a catch and kill ticket. For this I put on the Incredible Cat, and it didn't take us long to locate some fry feeding fish. So the first cast up here, guys. Just going to go about halfway out. Now the wind is 100% in our face here, which is where all the food will be being blown. So there should be a fish or two in this area. Like I say, this pond's a catch and kill pond, so they should be willing to take, and we should be able to give you a good glimpse of what Woolaston Trout Fishery has to offer for you. So with the Incredible Cat, now our medium figure 8 is pretty much our go-to and standard way of fishing them. So I'm going to medium figure 8 this all the way back. We might get a take. There's a lot of fish in this area, and it's a really, really good technique for catching fish. If this doesn't work, what we can do with the Incredible Cat is give it the odd twitch, you know? Oh, look at him go. So I think we'll take a step to the left here, just to make it a bit easier to cover this fish. So clearly something's going on in this area. They're feeding like crazy here. Looks like they're smashing a small fry. This fly is perfect for imitating that. Let's see if there's madness behind the method. See if we can catch one of these fry bashing rainbows. Yes, we can. Look at that, guys. We saw them feeding on the fry, smashing them, casting amongst them, managed to hook into one. Again, it's another hard fighting Woolaston fish. There we are, guys. Cracking example of what you can get from the catch and kill pond there. A good 3-pound fish. Let's knock him on the head. One to take home. Just wanted to show you the kind of fish that are up here. Well, with the fish switching heavily off the feed and only 20 minutes before we had to go home, we returned to the catch and release pond. I put on a really old fly that I had tied almost 10 years ago and decided to give the fish something they hadn't seen before. And it didn't take long before I was into a fish. So this is the fly that just caught. Absolutely crazy looking thing. But like I said, if you give them something they haven't seen before, you'll often winkle out one or two more. Ryan's been having a few on the dry flies. Unfortunately that's dried up for him. And everyone seemed to stop catching. I put on this fly and it didn't take long before we were into a fish. Let's cast out one more time. It's an absolutely crazy looking fly, but it's definitely going to pique their interest. It's going to give them something to think about, something they haven't seen before. And that's what I really like in my flies. If you look at my flies, what I tend to do is I'll take an okay pattern, a good pattern, a well-known pattern, and we'll think of something that the fish won't have seen before, which means they'll take ours when they might not be taking someone else's, and it's just some slight differences that seem to catch me and the people I fish with them few extra fish. Now this is just obscene. It's something that I've just gone back to because it was one of the first flies I tied, and I thought, why not? You know, a bit of nostalgia. See if I can update it and get away with a fly that's a bit more presentable to the angler and does just as well as one of them first flies I tied. And I think it's that having something different and thinking outside the box and doing something that's just completely, you know, you wouldn't think of doing. It's that gets you the extra fish. And it really, oh, there we are, another one. See, it's just offering them something different, and I'm a really big believer in that. I think that's why the Incredible Cats work so well and fish better than Cat's Whiskers do. I tell all new tyers, any fly will catch on the day, as long as you know how to fish it well and you've got confidence in it. Confidence is key. There we go. Again, just on that jiggy fly, don't know what I'm going to call it, but an extra fish that I wouldn't have had if I carried on fishing with what everyone else would be using. But a lovely rainbow. Let's get him back. And away he goes. Well guys, that brings a fantastic day at Woolaston to an end. Unfortunately we've only got half day here. My lift needs to get home, he's got work this evening. We'd like to say a massive thank you to Duane for inviting us down to Woolaston Trout Fishery. Hopefully you've picked up some tips and tricks on how to fish lures in the winter. You can see there the dull colours, the whites, the olives, the blacks, they fish really well. We've had an easterly wind today, the weather's been a bit against us, but we still caught fish, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.